One Zambia, one nation, and a very welcome to Zanis News. We look at the top stories in the news. President Hakainde Hichilema attends AU Summit. Lusaka Province Minister urges government and church to work together. Chief Chamuka appeals for relief food. Plus, National Judo League continues. With the news in detail, my name is Margaret Kangwa. The 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union has officially opened in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. President Hakainde Hichilema is among 55 heads of state and government representatives attending the high-level meeting. Kalani Muchima has more in the following report.
The 37th African Union Summit has opened here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with the 55 heads of states and government in attendance. President Hakainde Hichilema is one of the heads of states that are attending this very important summit here in Ethiopia. Now, the agenda for this year's summit is basically looking at education. This is because it has been realized that most African countries may not achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which talks about education. Hence the theme being centered on educate and skill Africa for the 21st century.
In order to grow and ensure sustainable development, education is key. In the last 5 years, Ethiopia has made significant progress towards universal access to education and activities to ensure quality and skills development as well as meet labor market needs.
President Hakainde Hichilema is on record of having said that the greatest investment that you can ever give to anybody is education, because education can make you achieve anything that you want in society. Other issues on the agenda include peace and security. As you may be aware, currently, according to the UNHCR, 44 million Africans have fled their homes due to instabilities in some African countries. We are talking of Cabo Delgado in Mozambique. We are talking about northern DRC. We are talking about South Sudan. And of course, Ethiopia, where we are, there have been instability resulting in people fleeing their homes.
One of the major challenges facing our continent at the moment is the spread of tension and armed conflicts, in addition to terrorist groups. These jeopardize peace and security, and they are affecting the social fabric of our communities, with a negative impact on the living conditions of the populations.
Leaders here are committed to ensuring that stability is retained back in these countries where we belong. Because as you may be aware, without peace and security, nothing can come out in terms of social and economic development. No wonder why leaders are so much concerned with the instability in the African continent. And the Commission or the Union is saying leaders must begin to find serious solutions to what is happening, because what is happening in one country may also happen in another country. And leaders are seriously expressing concern about this state of development.
Unconstitutional changes of government have multiplied in total defiance of the entire political and legal order that had founded our organization. Never since the establishment of the African Union has such a number of transitions following unconstitutional change of government as been seen in Africa.
Meanwhile, the heads of states and government of the African Union AU have elected Ahmed Ould Ghazouani, president of Mauritania, as the new chairperson of the AU, taking over from Comorian President Anzali Osman. Later, the president held a closed-door bilateral meeting with President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The meeting bordered on the welfare of the two nations and the region as a whole. Kalan Muchima reporting for Zanis, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The Ministry of Technology and Science has successfully launched the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Zambia report and the action plan for the technology assessment on biogas as alternative energy source using science, technology and innovation as a catalyst. And Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, William Katongo, says the technology assessment provides comprehensive insights into the use of clean energy. Details in the following report.
Biogas is a renewable fuel that is produced when organic matter such as food or animal waste is broken down by microorganisms in the absence of oxygen. In Lusaka province, a biodigester has been installed at a farm in Kasupe area where the owner is using it as a power source.
You have to have animals to produce this gas. Like here we have got pigs and we have the cows. That's why I'm getting the manure to make the gas. We put the manure and mix. We make it into porridge. Then we release it. It goes down in the dome. So it covers. It's all around here, there. It's quite big. Then after that, it goes out there, and then we collect that as liquid fertilizer. When we want to use the gas, we come to open here. Then it is transported because it's all piped up to the house.
Officers from the Ministry of Technology and Science and supporting stakeholders have visited Ms. Nyamazana's farm to appreciate the initiative. It is also here that the report and action plan for technology assessment on biogas as an alternative energy source using science, technology and innovation as catalysts has been launched.
So we put together the project, and the project focuses on TA in African countries, and we selected 3 of the candidate countries, one being Zambia and the other 2 being South Africa and Seychelles. And the purpose is to pilot a methodology that we have created along with expert support from outside, and to test this methodology for doing technology assessment in developing countries. Right now, there is no tradition in Zambia of doing this, doing an assessment of the impacts of technology. So it has been a national, local-led development effort. We have been here to support only, and we are happy to be supporting the project.
Technology assessment provides comprehensive insights in making informed choices about the development and implementation of technologies in the use of clean and smart energy. In Zambia, the objective of the TIA project is to build and strengthen capacities of Zambia's science, technology and innovation policymakers, academia, researchers, entrepreneurs and other relevant stakeholders.
Shilika Chabalingula for Zanis in Lusaka.
Thank you for that report. Now, the Lusaka Province Minister Shehu Mulyata says government and the church should work together to enhance development in the country. Ms. Mulyata says the church is key in conveying government's policies to the people in the community. The minister said this when she officiated at the 19th anniversary Church for City Interdenominational Fellowship in Lusaka. Mutale Kani has the details.
It was a celebratory occasion to mark a special milestone. The City Interdenominational Fellowship today held a commemoration to mark its 19th anniversary. Lusaka Province Minister Shehu Mulyata officiated at the event. The minister emphasized the need for strong partnership between government and the church.
The spiritual influence of the church can change the state of a city even instantly. Because we are praying. Pray for the leadership. We are not perfect. We are human. We can make mistakes. But the church should stand and pray for us.
And Lusaka Mayor Chilando Chitangala urged the church to continue praying for the nation's leaders.
As mayor of this city, I see the church as an enhancer for our overview over the city. There is an extra lens to help the local community, the local authority, to have a deeper insight in the souls of our communities. So thank you very much. There are so many things that happen in the communities, and we rely on the church.
And the founder and overseer of the fellowship, Bishop Billiam Fuller, said the church is capable of offering wise counsel to government on issues of national importance.
It's our appeal to government that God has given the church instruments for mindset change. Romans 12 and verse 2 says, conform no longer to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, which is by the word of God.
Mtalakani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Now, the Nchwala Ceremony Organizing Committee is targeting to raise 1.5 million kwacha towards the successful hosting of the 2024 Nchwala Traditional Ceremony of the Ngoni people slated for February 22nd to 24th, 2024. Organizing Committee Chairperson Bestin Koma says the committee has managed to raise 1 million kwacha and is still waiting on pledges from other cooperating partners. Mr. Nkoma was speaking during the Nchwala Traditional Ceremony fundraising walk in Lusaka. Audrey Kalenga has the rest of the story.
All is set for the 2024 Nchwala Traditional Ceremony of the Ngoni people of Eastern Province. The ceremony is slated to take place from February 22 to February 24, 2024 in Mutenguleni village. And the fundraising committee have since concluded their fundraising venture by undertaking a walk in Lusaka. Nchwala Traditional Ceremony National Organizing Committee Betsy Nkoma says the fundraising has been a success with the committee.
The budget for this year is about 1.5 million kwacha, and so far the fundraising has gone on very well. I should say we're somewhere around the million kwacha, but we are very sure that we will reach it.
And fundraising committee vice chairperson Dmisani Tembo has called on members of the public from different ethnic groups to support the hosting of the ceremony both financially and physically.
As Ngonis, we don't believe in the issue of us disintegrating or being one from the other. We believe in unity and we believe in one for the whole country.
Meanwhile, Nchwala Traditional Ceremony Eastern Province Organizing Chairperson Bradley Chongwe also had this to say.
The fundraising work has been successful, so far so good, especially that we have been assisted by, in fact not assisting, but we have been boosted by the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Rodney Sikumba. Yeah. So he has done a great job, he has boosted the morale and everyone is there, he wants to see how the Ngonis.
This year's Nchwala Traditional Ceremony is being celebrated under the theme, Cultural Pride in Promoting Reconciliation for National Unity. Audrey Kalenga for Zanis News in Lusaka.
We continue with the news, and now on our health news. Residents of Ituki Ward in Luena constituents of Western Province have applauded the government for the construction of the first ever health post in the area using the constituents development fund. Limulunga Town Council Secretary Namenda Kaonga has disclosed that the council released over 3 million kwacha to fund the healthy projects from 2022 to 2023 CDF. Here is a report.
Residents of Ituku Ward in Luena constituency of Western Province have commended government for constructing the first ever health post and staff house through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. This development has excited residents because the nearest health facility is 15 kilometers away from their area.
Mahima kuyanga kwali gwafa kuya simurumbe puluera mazira wao nilofumananga bukiti aho kudwafa kuya kawsheki kusera mazira nilofumananga ulukiti chora tofumana kwa tenspata siru fakaofi saitu kuse nisichaba kafera siwa bezwi nilitumera uli kubamuso babapangire musebezi wo
lufumana butata wakuluna bayima sipatira sinzia ulukwaole kambe sipatira sisa tu kusaluna ambe sikwa lutu kama bebe kulimba izu asipate asinzi faka ufiba kuisa kama bebe cha asipate asana asinzi kwa wale saka sheke ono kulitumela luku president waka inde ni boye mpila luna balukole kama bebe sipatela kuliluwe faka ufini sipatela luna baima luziele yanga ulu kwa kuisa hukumva liko chikala basawa ya wamo kuisa ke upura mwanzela.
Limulunga Town Council has said the authority is committed to implement projects aimed at improving the health sector.
We came up with a construction at the Tuku area, working together with the community. They gave us land on a virgin land. The construction was at 455,575. From there, we added a semi-detached house, which was done at a cost of 663, as well, together with the toilets for the two houses. But at the moment, we have added some funds to complete the toilet, as well as the one at the health post, as well as put on waterborne facilities, where the borehole now is being upgraded to a water scheme.
And Limulunga District Commissioner Lutangu has said government is putting up various strategies to strengthen healthcare, such as the recruitment of more medical personnel.
Mass recruitment on healthcare workers has addressed critical staff shortages in the health sector, while ensuring an adequate mix of skills and equitable geographical distribution of staff, leading to improved service delivery. Professionals are now contributing to better patient care, reduced patient waiting times at health facilities, and increased accessibility to healthcare services, which are vital components of universal health coverage.
Stella Goma reporting for Zanis in Limulunga District, Western Province.
Thank you for that report. And now in Eastern Province, Care International Zambia has donated cholera infection control materials and funds worth 115,000 kwacha to Mambu District Health Office. District Health Director Mutale Masamu observes that the continued support by the partners in health system is strengthening and other areas that aim at reducing mortality and the spread of the disease is appreciated. Sylvester Chishimba gives us a report.
The outbreak of the cholera pandemic in Zambia has not spared Eastern Province and other parts of the country. In this regard, Care International Zambia has donated assorted items worth 115,000 kwacha to the Chipata District Health Office to be used in fighting the spread of the deadly diarrheal disease. Care International Zambia Country Director Chikwe Mbwenda was represented during the handover ceremony by Care International Zambia Eastern Province Emergency Response Coordinator Jacqueline Chalapuka.
Eastern Province is also one of the provinces that has been affected, with Chipata and Mambwe being among the hotspots. So behind these numbers, you might take note that there are community members that are being affected. And so this means that on one hand, someone has lost their loved one, a mother, a father, a daughter, or a son. I would like to first thank the government of Zambia and other humanitarian organizations for the works that they are already doing to combat the cholera crisis in the nation. To supplement what government is already doing, Care International is here to hand over the infection control materials and also funds for the risk communication to your department.
And government has commended Care International for the gesture.
We first recorded our first case on 30th of December 2023 as a district, and as of 13th of February, which is yesterday, 2024, the district stands at 83 suspected cases of cholera, which have been in existence, and 42 of these have been confirmed cases. 3 are active and in admission at our Chipata Tradesmen Hospital facility there. Your contribution is timely and will leave a positive impact in the lives of those we serve. And we say thank you for your kindness and generosity. You are indeed supplementing government's efforts in the fight against cholera. Call upon all other institutions and organizations in the district to emulate what Care International has done today and make a difference. You know, this will go a long way. We've been grappling with shortage of material, disinfectants, and a number of things that, as you have seen, to fight this cholera.
Earlier, Acting Chipata District Health Director Dr. Jairus Mulambia gave welcoming remarks.
For us, will be we shall make sure that whatever has been donated will be put to good use.
Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Now, Central Province Minister Princess Kasune says maternal health care is a fundamental human right and a cornerstone for the country's sustainable development. Ms. Kasune notes that the improvement of the healthcare infrastructure, particularly for maternal and child health care services, is on top of the government's developmental agenda. Zanis reports that the minister said this in a speech read for her by Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala during the groundbreaking for the construction of a mother's shelter and maternal annex at Chikonkomene Rural Health Center in Chisamba District. Shupikile Nkunika gives us details.
This is Chikonkomene Rural Health Center in Chisamba District, Central Province, with a catchment population of over 9,000 people. A Japanese non-governmental organization has come on board to construct a mother's shelter and a maternity annex at this health facility. Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala graced the groundbreaking ceremony on behalf of Central Province Minister Princess Kasune. Central Province Minister Princess Kasune says the construction of the maternal health infrastructure is a symbol of hope and empowerment.
This maternal annex represents more than just bricks and mortar. It symbolizes hope, empowerment, and the promise of a healthcare future for generations to come. It will serve as a sanctuary where expectant mothers receive the care and support.
Provincial health specialist Dr. Isaac Banda says that maternal mortality rate in the catchment population is high.
Also gets that as a province, the maternal mortality ratio is quite high. That has to be brought down, and this is one of the strategies of reducing maternal mortality ratio.
And Rosinet's project manager, Yusuk Tanaka, says his organization will continue to collaborate with government in improving maternal health care services in underserviced communities.
It is gratitude to all who have contributed to this project and to all who will continue to support it in the days, weeks, and the months to come. Mother Shelter will open in June of this year.
Chief Chamuka of the Lenje people of Chisamba District has urged his subjects to guard the facility once complete.
Let us guard that facility jealously. Let us take ownership of that facility.
Zanis reports in Chisamba, Central Province.
Zambia Flying Doctor Service has held a mass sensitization exercise against cholera in Kwazi and senior compounds in Ndola. And Chief Medical Officer Chisanga Puta says the aim was to educate the public on cholera prevention to avoid further spread of the disease. Let us get the report.
With the rise in the number of cholera cases in Ndola district on the Copperbelt province, government has started a mass sensitization program to keep the spread of the disease. Mkwazi and senior compounds in Ndola, being the area with the highest number of reported cases of cholera, have been prioritized in the sensitization being led by the Zambia Flying Doctor Services.
To service about 3,000 households. So we've got 3,000 plus chlorine that shall be distributed in these households. On top of that, we've got the lime that will equally be distributed to the households and all those that have pit latrines and their environments that may seemingly be contaminated so that they can be disinfected, and teach the community about cholera, about its dangers, and when to also seek medical help so that we do not want to record any more community deaths. And we've seen that the cases have been on the rise, and we know that preventive medicine at the end of the day is very cost effective for any nation. So when we go out there and we speak to the communities, we teach them, we hope that we have a good response in terms of them seeking health care and them observing the habits that will prevent the spread of cholera so that we can bring it to a halt. Just for the whole Ndola district, as at yesterday we reported, I think we've been recorded about 10 cases, and currently in admission as at yesterday we had 23 patients in admission.
And residents have thanked the government for showing concern through the spreading of lime in pit latrine and giving chlorine bottles to the community.
Bachitabwina okuleta omuti wakusansa mufolomu namukitamu kolera yakiramu ifikwefu mufolo songa baleitiramu efi ninshi chawama alo obuteeko buli bwino bwabomba bakutibikira kwefu mwanjini twatotera chlorine batupera tuleta shamwanjini.
Jacqueline Moba, Zanis in Ndola.
Now, Newborn Support Zambia has called on the government to create positions for trained neonatal nurses in healthy facilities in order to provide quality neonatal services in the country. A Newborn Support Zambia board chairperson Kunda, Dr. Kapembwa, made this call during a meeting in Lusaka with local and international health personnel where issues of neonatal nursing were discussed. Here is a report by Mijelo Mwemba.
As their theme says, unveiling a new era in neonatal nursing, these nurses and midwives from Zambia, Africa, and across the continent have gathered here at Taj Pamosi Hotel to discuss important issues surrounding newborn babies. Various organizations have had their voices heard, including the Newborn Support Zambia, that is concerned with the high neonatal mortality in Zambia.
In 2014, our neonatal mortality was actually at 24,000 lives, and we projected and said, well, we wanted to go to 15, we wanted to go to 12, but by 2018, we found we were actually going up. We were at 27,000 lives in 2018. And then when you compare with the rest of the region, we find that Zambia is actually one of the countries with the highest cause of neonatal mortality.
Postgraduate programs were introduced in the nursing fraternity at the Zambia College of Medicine and Surgery as a way of building capacity in the existing workforce.
This was a one-year program, it was skill-based, and we created this cadre knowing that when we talk about training the next neonatal nurses, the post-diploma, we were going to use these young doctors to pass on some skills.
However, she is calling on the government to create positions for neonatal nurses in health facilities across the country.
We are training people who don't have government positions. So we'll train and train, but if we do not give them positions, they will go back to where they came from.
The Council of International Neonatal Nurses President Karen Walker says the key to reducing the neonatal mortality is through having a competent team of neonatal nurses.
Every 2 seconds a baby is born preterm, and every 40 seconds one of these babies dies. And the majority of these deaths are in low and middle-income countries. There is great inequality around the world.
Chelsea Foundation Program Development Officer Federica Casera says the neonatal nurses need to be equipped with neonatal essential survival technology.
It's true that access to care has improved. For example, if I'm not mistaken, almost or more than 80% of the birth deliveries are happening in facility in rural area, and 95% in urban area are happening in facilities in Zambia. But access to care itself is not enough.
Mijelo Mwemba reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
We continue with the Zanis news. Chief Chamuka of the Lenje people of Chisamba district of Central Province has appealed to the government for relief food. The traditional leader says hunger is stalking his subjects and the situation has been worsened by the drought that has destroyed crops in most fields in his chiefdom. And Chief Chamuka said this when Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala called on him. Details in this report.
Hunger is reported to be stalking the people of Chisamba district in Central Province. Chief Chamuka of the Lenje people of Chisamba wants government to take the hunger situation seriously. The traditional leader is calling on government to establish selling points for cheaper mealie meal to service the rural poor.
Because the minimum is cheap, so kuli macues. So kuli vashma kwevo kuno vachiteko shukuru washine shine. If they can be allowed to register as sales agents, vabus wa national service are prisons. But babala tulijite shopping center. We have got bigger shops. Akwano kuno we have got bigger shops. Then in Fambula we have got bigger shops. Muswishi, we have got some shops there. Even in 9 miles there, we have got some shops where people can be registered. They buy that meal, of course not to be given for free. They buy, and then they sell at guided prices, so that
District Commissioner Joe Mboyoma says a prolonged dry spell has destroyed most field crops in the area.
We are very grateful to government, His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema government, yonse fertilizer akapekwa bantu bakashanga bakakumbula kusenga kwa president wamba yamulimeno bantu bakashanga maniki ichalinga imabuba ngwalikwa na tawo bantu nika kutoka kata nika imabuba tunolindira achati ano yalofa itani so the challenge
and Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala has assured the traditional leader that efforts are underway to mitigate the looming hunger in the region.
Government plans for the so through also the DC, I think we're making plans to ensure that not only here, but all other systems, make sure that we mitigate this hunger, the looming hunger issue that may arise due to the fact that full arrow very well.
Zanis reports in Chisamba.
And now in Northwestern Province, effects of climate change in Mufumbwe district are reported to be threatening food security among the local households. This is despite the government's effort to distribute the farming inputs early to 1,062 beneficiaries under the Food Security Pack. This follows the continued reports of a dry spell in most parts of the district. We have details in this report.
Lillian Makaliki of Shukowad in Mufumbwe district is among the 1,062 beneficiaries for the 2023-2024 Food Security Pack program who received 2 by 50 kg bags of compound D fertilizer, a 50 kg bag of urea, a 10 kg bag of maize seed, and another 10 kg bag of beans. After receiving the inputs in the second week of December 2023, the crops from germination in Lillian's field appeared very promising as the area received normal rainfall up to the current production stage. Just when the 39-year-old was getting ready for a good harvest, the sad reality of climate change seems to be threatening her yields following a continued dry spell in the district, which is reported to have affected the whole Mufumbwe for over 20 days now.
Matabaishire kurupuka burongo sana amweka nkire basa kuwa matu buronga sa kumpwisha buyanzi mukachika bwikaro bwa mina bana mina kuya kuno kurutwe mataba na mambo akubura mvura bango mirungu inga isatu mane mvura kafwako kuno kumpunja ya shukwe ne mataba nao tuaka mwakana tsa kuikarapo na kajo munsu omwanike tuayuka ne.
The dry spell has equally not spared the legumes.
Inge mvura ne kunoka ne okwambaye mikobe ketsi ya mwafa ina kuikaranku ndemukachine ya konsha kupeta banonge ya peta enshi kafawo kyotwa fwenwa kumwena mone onka o mambo nebuno buruba nabo na mambo amutewa abaya bubena kusukumukira panshi pakusukumukira panshi ko kwamba enshi kafawo kyakonsha kumwekane.
For the acting district crop husbandry officer Margaret Masumba, the affected farmers are most likely to record low yields as a result of the dry spell.
The dry spells continues for the next 14 days. Most of the crops will reach a permanent wilting point. And by any chance, if we happen to receive rains within the next 5 days, those crops which will recover from the dry spell shock will not give a good yield. Definitely, the yield will be poor due to the heat and water stress.
The Department of Community Development is on the other hand worried with a possible negative impact on food security if the situation remains the same.
As a department, looking at the food security aspect, we are so worried because our vulnerable but viable farmers are not going to have enough food which is going to be helpful to them.
Reporting for Zanis in Mufumbo District, I'm glad Wangoma.
Sikusi Agriculture Camp in Limulunga district of Western Province has been severely hit by the dry spell that has destroyed crops, with most of them showing no sign of recovery. And District Senior Agriculture Officer Simon Mumba and other camp officers visited the camp to assess the impact. Stella Ngoma gives us this.
Sekusi Agriculture Camp in Limulunga district of Western Province has been badly hit by the dry spell that has destroyed farmers' fields, with most crops showing no sign of recovery even if it rains. This development has devastated farmers.
Kambe kwa kona ala utso kwatini sakucha suluka kona kutsema basi alona neba sakukutsa kwa fisipo anzibe kuli nikafumana kaimbo nyika kona kukutsa sinamu ibona mwibona ale yo milefa neba kutukisa kwatini muliro wacha
sinyezwi kimbonyi pula kuna michiwa kisibuku ni zwa fall ne lulimi size mashere ni lulimile masimwa kwa nakweza 5 hectares kaufelayo na ishwile kilizazi.
Limulunga District Senior Agriculture Officer Simon Mumba and other camp officers undertook a backstopping and supervisory visit to Sikusi camp to assess the impact of the dry spell.
Also the dry spell, which has taken almost 3 weeks, we have not received any rains. So otherwise, to my observation, the maize hasn't been doing very fine. It has withered, and we are worried of the yield. The yield might be very bad for this season, because we are just encouraging farmers to plant early. Most of the fields that we have visited, it's really horrible.
Sikusi Camp Agriculture Assistant Nawasi Ambango has disclosed that 600 farmers have been affected so far.
The total area which was estimated planted for this season for the whole camp was 860 hectares. So looking at the area which is affected, at now it's about 450 hectares.
Stella Goma reporting for Zanis in Limulunga District, Western Province.
Thank you, Stella, for that report. Now, Lions Club Lusaka and Chipata have partnered in a tree planting program in Chipata District as a way of contributing to the fight against climate change. And speaking at a tree planting exercise held at Chipata Central Hospital, Lions Global Membership Team Coordinator Rex Chisulo said the devastating effects of climate change can only be reversed by concerted efforts in the promotion of afforestation, among other interventions. Details in this report.
Deforestation is one of the human activities that has landed humanity in trouble with the environment. The current dry spells being experienced as a result of climate change are just some of the effects of deforestation. And joining in the fight against climate change, the Chipata Lions Club is planting trees in selected parts of Chipata, including Chipata District Hospital, Maguero, and Cheshire Homes.
We are losing a lot of trees because of charcoal burning, and then carbon emissions are being increased. So as a service organization, we have thought that we should contribute to the reduction of carbon emissions, not only worldwide, but also particularly here in Zambia. We have chosen Chipata District Hospital because it is a place that everyone is going to come to. It is a place that is going to make people realize how important it is to have trees.
The club has a series of tree planting programs in the district.
We have about 45 plants that should be planted here. It's a variety of these plants that we are there. The Lions Club Chipata, we have a series of projects. We identify projects during our meetings where there is need. This is the Chipata District Hospital. Is one of those, like Maguero, Cheshire Homes. This is where we have already participated.
Fitting from this program, Chipata District Hospital representative Patricia Nsonga expressed gratitude to the Chipata Lions Club for the gesture.
We are very, very happy that you've chosen Chipata District to do the tree planting. As you can see, this is a new surrounding, I think only a few years old. You've seen there are no many trees, so we are happy that these trees we are going to plant, for sure we'll look after them properly. 2-3 years from now, we'll be eating mangoes, not buying mangoes. Thank you so much.
Patso Dimbani, Zanis News, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Now, the Ministry of Education Director in the Department of Open and Distance Education, Beatrice Bota, says developing anti-corruption supplementary materials for early childhood learners will help fight corruption in the country. And Anti-Corruption Commission Director for Public Education, Dorothy Chelo, says the material will help impact values in the foundation of the education sector. The two made their remarks during a workshop for development of anti-corruption supplementary materials for early childhood education in Kawe. Now, Kelvin Tembo covered the event and filed in this report.
The fight against corruption requires a comprehensive and proactive response from all stakeholders. The Anti-Corruption Commission, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, is set to develop anti-corruption supplementary materials for early childhood education.
Ladies and gentlemen, corruption is a tough challenge that requires a comprehensive and proactive response. As the stewards of education, we bear the responsibility of instilling in the minds of our young people the principles of integrity, accountability, and ethical conduct. Today's initiative to develop anti-corruption supplementary materials for our early childhood education curriculum is a testament of our dedication to this cause.
The Commission is keen to achieve this feat in its quest to fight corruption in the country.
Today marks a significant milestone as we collectively embark on a mission to foster a society rooted in integrity, responsibility, and ethical values from the very foundation of our education system, the children, the babies.
This collaboration, as it was indicated, between the ACC and the Ministry of Education is a clear testament of the resolve that the two institutions have in tackling corruption at an early stage. We have gathered here to collaboratively shape the future of this country by developing anti-corruption materials that will undoubtedly make a lasting impact on the school-going children and society in the long run.
And the Provincial Education Office in Central Province says inculcating good values in children is cardinal.
Issues of inculcating values, good values in our children are so cardinal. The Bible says in Proverbs 22, verse 6, train up the child in the way they should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from the word. So it's strongly believed that if our learners are inculcated in values of understanding that this is not mine, this is mine, they will grow to respect that.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Kabwe, Central Province.
Thank you so much, Kelvin Tembo, for that report. Now, in Muchinga Province, the Higher Education Loans and Scholarship Board is concerned with the low number of students applying for sponsorship in higher education facilities in Muchinga Province. And this came to light during the engagement for key stakeholders held in Chinsali District in a bid to boost the application levels. Details by Miriam Kumwenda.
Following the low levels of students applying for sponsorship under Muchinga Province through the Higher Education Loans and Sponsorship Board across Zambia, the board, in a quest to increase the low levels, has engaged various key stakeholders in Muchinga Province.
I also believe that we don't have a lot of people that have information about health. You may be a teacher, a pupil has finished grade 12, and they've scored very well in the academic exam, but they don't have any sponsorship.
As you go about your normal duties, your daily normal duties, you can meet such families, and please enlighten them and encourage them to come through. We are managing this as LSP, but it comes through also the Ministry of Education. It's called Keeping Girls in School.
We feel that the information will now permeate to the other level of the province to ensure that people have the information. The information gaps that are existing are quite worrying.
Stakeholders engaged also raised some concerns.
A student has to get an application from NatSafe Bank. Why is it like that? Because I understand there are some districts which NatSafe doesn't exist.
Why can't we be online? Applications to be accessed online. These students, they come from the schools. So if maybe forms can be extended to schools.
Other addition would be to increase the number of schools at Kapasa Makasa, because when you try to analyze what Kapasa Makasa is offering, I think it is only 5 faculties.
The engagement meeting held at Katachilod in Chinsali District was graced by Muchinga Province Assistant Secretary Brown Suchande.
Your expertise is crucial in ensuring that school leavers from Muchinga Province are accessing students' loan and scholarships from this HELSB program.
Miriam Kumwenda reporting for Zanis in Chinsali.
Government through the Gender Division has empowered a women's cooperative in Mufulira district on the Copperbelt province with poultry and equipment under the Women's Economic Empowerment Program. Mufulira District Commissioner Sawoi Kabika has since encouraged the women to uphold unity and use the resources for their financial independence. Let us get this.
The Suminisha Women's Cooperative in Mufulira District has received a boost from the government's Women's Economic Empowerment Program implemented by the Gender Division. Mufulira District Commissioner Sawoi Kabika handed over a complete poultry pack to support their entry into poultry farming, providing necessary resources such as 250 chicks, drinkers, feeders, charcoal briquettes, sawdust, chicken feed, vaccines, boosters and disinfectants to ensure their ability to care for the chickens until the first harvest.
We want to assure you that you have brought these things to the right people.
all we are asking now is that empower more cooperatives, because we have a lot of cooperatives in Fulham, and women here work.
Nomai Imenda, Principal Gender Officer at the Gender Division, revealed that the women underwent thorough training in poultry farming to guarantee the success of the initiative.
For us here in the Copper Belt, it is just what we are just starting with, but not to say that we are ending here. We actually intend to empower more women in the district and the whole province.
With the training and resources provided, the women are optimistic about the prospects of transforming their livelihoods.
We are very thankful and we appreciate the work the government is doing.
The Women's Economic Empowerment Program aims to foster gender equity by empowering women through capacity building and resource provision, ultimately enhancing their economic independence and livelihood opportunities. Rachel Chisulo, Zanis, Mufulira.
And now, in ending the news with sports, the National Judo League has continued in Lusaka with weekend games taking place at the Olympic Youth Development Center. The event saw 6 local clubs represented as participants. Zanis has more in the following report.
The Olympic Youth Development Center was today a center of attraction concerning the judo fraternity. The center hosted the second phase of the league with 6 local judo teams, among them being Red Arrows Judo Club and the Zambia Army Judo Club in attendance. Zambia Judo Association, housed at the OIDC, says today's league game was important for the selection of a strong judokas to represent Zambia at the forthcoming All Africa Games in Accra, Ghana next month.
Today we have 6 clubs taking part. We have Central Sports Club, Green Buffaloes Judo Club, we've got Red Arrows, we've got Central Sports Club, we've got Mahewa Judo for Peace Judo Club, and OIDC. So today we also attended the launch for the Toolings League competition, which is hosted by OIDC. So I think next weekend we'll have the first tournament for the Toolings League. Yeah, so we started our league this year very early because we are preparing our athletes for the All African Games. So we just thought we'd give them an opportunity to compete, or maybe just to see, to maybe perfect their techniques during these tournaments that we have.
And Red Arrows Judo Club says it is positive that its judokas such as Anita Candela will make it the final team to represent Zambia at the forthcoming Games.
Our team has been preparing, and I can assure you that we've identified very good judokas within the judo camp. Some have been selected and they're part of the national team. So I'm sure we are heading somewhere. Amongst some of our players who have been selected for the national team, we've got David Chisenga, we've got Nicholas Kapia, Philip Timsonda, Anita Kandera, we have a good number for a team which was just established last year.
And for Candela on her part, today's tournament is in line with her aspirations to be with the final team to represent Zambia.
This tournament was also a preparation for the ongoing games happening in Accra, Ghana, next month. We have been training for a while now, so it's now time to put our skills to test and what we have been training to test. Thank you.
It is hoped that the final team to be selected to represent Zambia at the All Africa Games will bring honors to the country. Zanis reports from OIDC Lusaka.
The sports item brings us to the end of the news. We look at the headlines once again. President Hakainde Hichilema attends AU Summit. Lusaka Province Minister urges government and church to work together. Chief Chamuka appeals for relief food. Plus, National Judo League continues. On behalf of the entire production crew at Zanis News, thank you so much for watching. It has been Margaret Kangwa. Enjoy the rest of our programming.